Oh, the season has come to an end.
Yes, it has.
Fear the Walking Dead season 4 finale just wrapped up last night. And I'm not going to lie, right out the gate, wasn't really feeling this episode.
You didn't like it?
I'm not going to say I didn't like it or that it was bad. I just don't feel like it measured up to some of the other parts of the season.
It didn't feel like a season finale. That's...
Right. It felt like an episode, not a finale.
That's kind of how I felt at the end of the last season of The Walking Dead. I felt like great build-up and the culmination.
Right.
But I have a lot of thoughts about this episode.
I feel like on The Walking Dead, we expected a little more battle before. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, I like this episode, but I didn't like this episode.
Well...
lead us into it. I'm gonna let you take some lead this podcast.
Oh, geez, me? Who?
You.
Boy, it is just the two of us here. I mean, if I had any qualms, I would say that Martha, the mysterious, filthy, whatever you want to call her lady, definitely the most annoying of the Walking Dead villains.
She truly was.
She got really irksome with, if I was Morgan, I would have, just... When she said pull the car over, I would have been like her dad, I will pull this car over. Don't tell me to. Because, oh, geez. Well, just, very annoying. I think stupidity definitely played a big part. And I think stupidity was the real villain. Have you ever taken a sip off of something that didn't have a sealed top? Let me just ask you personally.
I mean... If it was from a trusted friend, yes. But now if I get it from a store,
right?
I buy it or it's supposed to. No, I don't. Like if it's sealed, and I'll take it right back to that store.
Especially when there's sort of someone who's been going around poisoning people and doing nefarious things. I mean, I know we're jumping around right now.
Jump around all you want, man.
But
jump around. Get down. I totally
I forgot
fudged that up right there. Yeah.
But nah, man. I mean, just an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure.
Yeah, and is that really all you need to do if you drink antifreeze? Is to drink alcohol?
I don't know.
I was never good at chemistry.
And I mean, how much antifreeze? Like the proportions. I mean, what a policeman told me once, because sadly my dog was actually poisoned.
That wasn't that long ago either.
Yeah. And what he said is, like, if there's something with antifreeze in it, you'll know because it has a very sweet smell and a sweet taste. That's why dogs love it so much.
Right.
And, I haven't done, like, a lot of research on this, but it seems like if you drank enough to kill you, maybe you would have noticed. I don't know.
I feel like they would have tasted. It could have been one of those things, though. They were so thirsty and been through so much, they just gulped it down. You know what I mean? Because when you're really thirsty... or hungry even, you don't necessarily, notice tastes are off.
Like I said, I'm kind of getting my qualms out of the way first.
Yeah, get them out the way, man.
Out of the way first.
You do your thing.
I was hoping Victor Strand would be the only person not affected, because he was just too busy, guzzling booze the whole time. That's
right.
That's why he was going like, what's wrong?
I like when he was
like, am I not the one stumbling around? What's wrong with you people?
He should have had like a belly full of alcohol to neutralize that.
He should have had enough in him already. That's right.
I like what he said, though, when he was like, I just quit drinking. And I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember the quote. But he's like, I just quit drinking to save my life.
Yeah.
And, it's... But yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't have. Now they were all having what? Like they were vomiting and diarrhea and stuff. I bet that truck stop was not a pleasantly. I mean, you got a bunch of unshowered people,
right?
And now they're pooping and puking nonstop. I bet you Morgan. One unrealistic part is when Morgan ran in, he should have been like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm here to save the day, but Jesus, you people stink.
Woo! Yeah.
God, after y'all drink this beer, I'm going to really need you to all go shower somehow, some way. Wipe your butts. This is gross.
I'm telling you, man. Just not.
And then, so now they're not, their plan is not saying they're not going, because we don't ever say never, but they're not planning to go to Virginia now. Now they're going to stay and continue Polar Bear's operation.
Apparently so, which, I mean, it's cool. It kind of reminds me of the end of, season 4 maybe, where, like, the prisons become a haven and they're, taking people in and all that stuff.
Season 3, and I know just because I just watched it. You're talking about right after the battle with the governor where they go to Woodbury to strike back, and then they take the rest of the Woodburyans back with them, the ones the governor didn't slaughter.
Yeah, it kind of gives me that sort of a feeling, which also makes me kind of nervous because... I don't know, when you start, it seems like they're going to start building on the cast, and a lot of times that can be,
I just feel like
that can be a
I don't want them to get into the same routine as The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead is find a new location, prosper in said location, get location destroyed by new bad guys, find new location, and repeat. I mean, I love both shows, but I mean, that's the way, that's kind of what The Walking Dead's been through, and it's like Herschel Farm, find it, things are good, it gets overrun. Find the prison, things are good, it gets overrun. Go to Terminus, people try to eat you, but nonetheless, same old story. Find safe haven, leave said safe haven. So I thought it was much more exciting, the idea of starting off next season as like a road trip, and like the dangers that they experience along the road and things like that. To me, that was something a little different and new that I was kind of excited about. And now they're just going to be at a denim factory.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It almost looked like the old abandoned mill in our town.
It did, yeah.
Big white building right next to the river.
Do you think that they'll be able to bedazzle some of those denim products?
Oh, I bet you're talking about
Morgan comes out and got like the jewel encrusted gloves and like 80s denim jacket.
I would have loved to have seen the season finale end with a little fashion show.
Right. Oh, but yeah, so I don't know. I was just not really feeling this one. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't bad. I mean, because the characters are so likable. I'll tell you too, man. I really think that June could become the next Madison. As far as being like that strong female lead, and Sarah's a strong character too, but June's just kind of got a little bit of everything. She's personable, she's likable, she's strong, she's smart. Like June could really step up and kind of take the Madison role. Of course, no one could be Madison, but she could kind of take that leader. I like June, actually. I think I like her. I like the actress that plays her. I think she's great. I'm not going to say she's a I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, she's like Michonne as far as female leads go. Michonne is just my shiznit. Michonne and Carol, I think, are the two best, female leads they have. And then, of course, Rick's my favorite male lead. But I do think June could kind of step into that role. I think that she's awesome, and she's grown on me.
Yeah, she's definitely a strong lady, that's for sure.
And I saw in the comments of one video, maybe it might have been our last video, somebody commented and said that John Dory would become the new Rick, and I am completely okay with that.
I could see that happen as well.
He's such a good character, man. He's such a like you just want to hug the guy.
He's a sweetheart, He's a real sweetheart.
From experience, I'm not into hugging, so he's a very huggable guy.
I'm not a big hugger either, but yeah, John Dory, he's kind of more of a soft-hearted Rick.
I've had JP and Matt try to hug or huddle, and I'm just not a touchy-feely kind of person. So, but John Dory's just like huggable. You just want to go hug the guy.
MDMA, but anyway,
maybe.
Never mind. Yeah,
it might be because I'm the one that didn't.
Yeah, that might have been it.
But he does, man, John Dory, and then you feel so bad for him because Morgan's going off to find this lady, which I don't care. I get that, I get that Morgan's been there. I get that he's been through it. I just think it's a wasted effort. And it's like, dude, I get what you're trying to do with the writing, but come on, you don't survive this long by being that stupid.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan, he wasn't like a cold, calculated serial killer. He was killing people more or less when they posed a threat, but I mean, he wasn't, he was quick to murder people. But
Eastman found him. He was crazy, but also Eastman kind of found him because he was kind of like stalking him, right? Like he had found the cabin or whatever, and Eastman just went out there and knocked him out because there was this crazed man on his property.
Yeah, wasn't he like staring down his goat or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, and it's not like Eastman saw him and then went after him after he had tried to kill him 2 or 3 times, so it's like, Morgan, just stop, man. I get it. You tried to save her a time or two. She didn't listen. It's kind of like the Batman Joker argument, when people, and this is all philosophical. I'm not stating my view on either because it is a very complicated thing to argue. But some people will be like, yes, the Joker is directly responsible for all of these murders, but Batman refuses to do what needs to be done and put the Joker down. So really, who's more guilty, the guy that's doing it or the guy who refuses to stop it? Some people will be like, obviously, it's the guy doing the murdering. He's the bad guy. But then again, it's kind of like the Spider-Man thing. Like, if you see something happen, you kind of need to step in and do what needs to be done. And you don't really have jail. So it's like with Morgan, man. Stop stop. You tried to talk sense into her a time or two. It's not worked. You allowing her to live or allowing her to keep finding you is putting your people at risk. And what's more important, some crazed stranger who you know nothing about, or the people that you know have your back and mean a lot to you? So, I don't care. My viewpoint with that is I'm done with Morgan trying to save these bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, she's a mad dog, look, sometimes you got to put them down.
I can understand, certain situations. I'm fine with Morgan wanting to save people. But after this point, dude, you try to talk sense into her a few times. She's going out and murdering people just because she's got some twisted worldview of what's strong and what's weak. Just stop. Give up.
Yeah.
Put her down, move on.
Yeah, she needs some serious psychological help. I mean, and I understand his motivation, by saving her, he's kind of saving himself and all this kind of stuff.
You think maybe he's kind of taking a lead from Rick? Because you got to remember, the season finale and The Walking Dead, he had just left not long after Rick spared Negan, after this long war. So do you think that maybe he, when he handling her, was kind of thinking about Negan?
You're probably right. Probably right.
What do you think about? I'm trying to think. Is that even not that much happened this episode? They got to the truck stop. They got poisoned. Morgan chased the crazy woman. Crazy woman did crazy woman shit, and they tried not to die. Morgan tried not to die. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot that went on this episode. It's just
I think another thing with the ethanol is it's pouring out of the truck. You'd think there would have been time to get a bucket.
I thought the same thing. Yeah. It's pouring out in volume, and I know that they're sick, but y'all were hauling ass just a second ago. Grab something, cup your hands, do what you need to do. That's your life-saving serum.
Mm-hmm.
I'd lick that shit off the ground if I had to, if it was going to save my life.
But it was lucky that Morgan was able to find that big Aggie's beer trailer or whatever.
Because of course he did.
Yeah, he knew where Jimbo's brewery was. So yeah, it was a nice find. Definitely not the tightest culmination of what I thought was a solid season.
Yeah, up to this point, I had thought this was a solid and good season. It's definitely, though, I will say, the first half of the season I felt was much better than the second half. I enjoyed the second half.
Right.
I still think it was a overall solid season, but I enjoyed the first half. It just felt like there was a lot more happening, a lot more at stake. A lot more on the edge of your seat, kind of what's going to happen, and this this looming sense of dread the whole first half. You knew something bad had happened, and you just wanted to know what it was. And
right, and it was fresh. Right. I mean, Morgan's down here, and you don't know what's going on. But I think I kind of felt the same way the last half of the last season. It just really strong build up. The culmination was just.
Right, and it doesn't ruin it. It's not like I'm saying the show now sucks, or I still love it, and I really am bummed to see it go off. Though I do love the timing, man. The finale was this past Sunday. The premiere of The Walking Dead's next Sunday, so I have something to watch every Sunday night.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
And I'm pretty stoked about that. I think we'll do a podcast before the premiere at some point this week, kind of recapping the last season of The Walking Dead, and maybe thoughts and predictions and things going into this new season.
We'll be talking some stuff up.
Because I'm pretty stoked. We did a video, if you hadn't seen it or listened to it, isn't much to see. And by the way, we get questions. I always mean to say this at the beginning of the podcast, and then I forget. So I'm going to say it now if you've made it in. People keep asking about the image in our video. Somebody is just put regular pictures. I think some folks think we're trying to be artsy fartsy. We are having software issues. Our computer's updated, automatic updates, and I can't roll them back. I can't remember why off the top of my head. There's a reason why I can't roll them back. So it messed up our video editing software, and so it just distorts pictures. I don't know why. And it's fall. Our jobs, we both work in FM radio, and this time of year is really busy. I mean, just Saturday we had to MC this, big concert in our area with some, big artists and stuff. Mm-hmm. JP got a little intoxicated backstage with one of the artists.
Yeah, it was a good time.
As manager, Very not fun for me. As for JP, I think he had a blast.
Yeah, I was not feeling so great the next day, mainly because of the blisters on my toes from my cowboy boots.
Right.
But,
This is why one of those times where I'm sitting back like, man, it sucks being a manager sometimes.
Sometimes it does, man.
But so we're really busy, but we do plan on JP's got a MacBook and we got to get that fixed, and we're going to go to using that editing software, or we're going to buy some new. We're going to figure it out here in the next month or so. I promise we'll be back to having like slideshows like we used to during our videos. But so for now, that's what's happening. If you've made it this far into the video, if I see anybody comment, like, what's up with the images, I'm going to assume they didn't make it this far in the video, or they're just being a smart ass. Neither one's okay. But back to the episode. We didn't really get much out of anybody but Morgan.
It was a very Morgan-centric episode. It was nice to see kind of like the flip side of the Morgan coin with the crazy lady. And, man, can you imagine just letting a zombie just chomp on your bosom there?
I thought she was so annoying.
Yeah,
I just didn't, especially this episode. Like when she was in the back seat, like, I was just like, shut up.
Yeah, like the second time she was talking about, making people strong and stuff. If I was Morgan, I'd just been like, all right, I get it. Strong.
You make people strong. We get it. Just shut up.
Point taken.
The second she'd have been like, I'll take that medicine. I'd have been like, you'll take it when we get back.
Right.
I mean, I think you probably did too. I saw that coming a mile away. The second she was like, okay, I'll take the medicine, and he opened the window, I'm like, she's going to grab your arm. Come on, man. And then she grabs it. I would have like cracked it a little bit and just been like, dropped it in there. Take your medicine. Not to mention,
she had nothing to wash it down with. So.
Right.
I wouldn't think she did.
No, she's dehydrated. She probably doesn't have a lot of spit worked up. Yeah.
And man, the first scene was where just like with Al and the shotgun and the zombie on the leash, I was just like,
that was stupid. I completely didn't even think about that. We did get a lot more focus on like I want to go back and rewind and pause on some of Al's tapes because we got you saw the titles and some.
Yeah.
I would like to go back and see if there's any Easter eggs there. And even when she was flipping through the video, I know I looked away one time for a second because I had an alert on my phone and looked back up and she was kind of going through the video and I was like, knowing my luck, it probably showed a clip of something Easter eggish. But yeah, I thought that was so stupid. Just shoot her.
Yeah, that's when I really got a bad feeling about the episode. I was like, I mean, if you want information, like put one in her kneecap or something, I
mean, I could understand this kind of BS in the beginning of the apocalypse when you weren't accustomed to having to kill to save your, all of that's new, but you're caught up with The Walking Dead now, so it's been a little while, right? Yeah. It's been a good 2 years maybe or more. I don't know the exact time frame, but it's been long enough. You've had to do things. This is a woman who is trying to kill you and your friends. That is her goal, is to take you out. She's already stolen your truck.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. Why are we even talking?
I would have blown Jimbo the zombie's head off.
Yep.
Then she's unarmed, basically.
Well, it's a shotgun, unarmed. So it probably would have been enough scatter to probably take her ass out too.
Yeah. So
I would have absolutely taken her out. I wouldn't have even given it a thought.
Yeah.
The second she's like, I want you to deliver a message, and I'm like, nope, I am not part of your plan. Gone. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think when it comes to survival, if it's my life or yours. Especially, I would want to save people. I'd want to try to do the right thing. But when you've come after me a couple of times and I know what your intent is, I don't have any compassion. Bye. Like I'm sure it sounds cold, and you got some of your more peaceful people would be like, oh yeah, sorry. It's probably why you'll die and I'll live. Because if you come after me and attempt to kill me, I wouldn't just shoot on sight, but for a stranger, I mean, be cautious, but understand not everybody's out to kill you, and be able to find a balance there. Keep your humanity and your wits about yourself. But once you've come after me, as I said, like this woman, her intention. It's not like she's just a stranger that popped up on the street, strolling with a walker. I mean, you know who she is. You know what she wants to do. You know what she's done. Screw her. Yeah. Game over. But I guess that wouldn't be as interesting of a plot.
I suppose not. Like I said, definitely not wound quite as tight as some episodes we've seen in the past. But
what? All right, tell me this. I was watching it. I was tired, man. I spent the whole night moving the basement stuff around in the basement, man. I was tired by the time I watched this. What did she do to ensure that she wasn't going to live? Like she showed her shoulder.
Yeah, I took that like she let a zombie bite her.
Is that what it was? Yeah, okay, because I'm sorry for the incompetence, but I was just like. So that's she let a zombie bite her, so she would turn. Okay, I was just kind of like when she showed her wound, I knew it was a shotgun wound there. So I'm just kind of like, she's like, now it's gonna happen or whatever. And
yeah, that's what I took it to me. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for not knowing, but
it was a very it wasn't like a typical like straight up bite mark looking thing, but that's like it was definitely worse than what it looked before. So I think that's what she was up to.
And we got a little bit. We saw some of Al's important videos. What significance do you think it was there when she was watching?
We saw a guy with a kid. I don't know if that's her kid or
right. But. We also saw another girl, right? And she watched a video of a girl and was kind of crying.
I think so, yeah.
So we're kind of getting, I guess, some pre-background. I want a little history on Al. Like I like I like it when they do it right. I don't like a full background, backstory episode. If they, those are can suck if they just go full backstory the entire time. But if they do it right and they tell it in sections, like the way Lost used to do it. Lost is one of those shows, man. I loved it, favorite show ever. But some people despise it because I'm not going to pretend the writing was grade A on it. They definitely wrote themselves in circles at some points and wrote themselves into corners and dead ends. But the one thing they did a great job of is helping you get to know these characters with their past because they told their stories in flashbacks. Yeah. So the episode progressed, the story on the island in the current time moved forward, but you also got to get little few-minute glimpses into their past to really get to know these characters. And I hope that if they show us Al's story, they'll do that.
Hopefully. And Lost was one of those network TV shows, so you have a lot of fingers in the pie, a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So,
oh, it's so good. If I knew enough people would listen, man, I would do a Lost podcast like that. I think it would be awesome. If we have Lost fans out there, please encourage JP to do this, so he'll do it, and we'll do this. You should start watching like an episode, like a few episodes a week, and we'll podcast on those episodes. You as the new, fresh opinion, and me as the lover of the show and looking back. And of course, if you don't like it, I want you to tell me you don't like it, and we can discuss and things like that.
It'd be interesting to see how well it holds up, like however many years later. I watched pretty much all of the second season. Like I was in college and we had DVDs, and it was one of just sitting around drinking, binging.
As much as you like sci-fi and stuff, which it's not straight up sci-fi, but knowing you and the things you're into, I think you would dig it. I don't know that it would be your favorite like mine, but I think you would get it. There's a lot of symbolism in it, I will say that, but I love it. I would love to do that, like a Lost podcast. If there are Lost fans out there, please unite in the comments section below so that JP will. I'm going to repeat this too, because this podcast, The Fear of the Walking Dead, this one, we get. We're appreciative for all of them, but we get, moderate, small amount of views, whereas on the Walking Dead podcast, we usually get a lot more views. So I'm also going to do this on the Walking Dead podcast to get all of those Lost fans to unite. And after all six of them join together, you're definitely going to want to do it.
You might start a movement, pal. It could happen.
Oh, but yeah, so let's wrap this one up, I guess. Put your hand under the table, and let's get your rating.
All right.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yeah. You did 3. I did 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was not a bad episode. It's just, this is the finale, man. You got to pull out. And I'm not one of those. We talked about this the last podcast. I don't think you have to kill someone for a finale, or premiere. I don't think someone big has to die if your story writing is right. You can still write a story, a finale great and not kill off anybody. But, it just, for this one, like you said, it felt like an episode. It just felt like a regular episode. It did not feel like the finale.
Yeah,
it left me wanting more, but not in the good way. Because there's two different ways you can do that. You can leave, have an explosive, awesome boom, just make you be like, oh God, I hate that it's gone off. That was so good. I just want to know what happens next. And then you have like this, where you're like, it was okay. I kind of would like to see more, and
right.
Something more exciting happened. But so next season, instead of a ball field, we'll open up at a denim factory where Morgan will be sporting his rhinestone bedazzled jeans.
Yeah, they're going to look like a bunch of 80s country stars.
John's going to love it.
Oh, yeah.
He's all into that country style. He'll probably have rhinestone.
Yeah, he's going to be in Hulk.
He'll be like Glenn Campbell, like the rhinestone cowboy walking out of there.
Yeah. And he's right there on the water. He's loving that.
If I was him, I wouldn't go near water again.
Yeah.
like I've said many times, I kayak a lot, go canoeing, and spend a lot of time on the river in the summer. And the first time I was to encounter a gator, I think it would probably be my last. Especially one that ferocious. One thing for one to swim by and be like, is that a gator? It's another to have this like crazed man-eating gator that not only is there, but it's stalking the hell out of you. So I think I'd be done with the water if I was John.
It's true.
Ooh. But so it does not look like at the current time we're going to see that crossover that they were that they were so insistently like pushing this the whole last part of the season. It just made you think like there's going to be a crossover, or it's going to. I would have been fine if they would have ended and been like, let's go to Alexandria, and then it would have ended. Been like, oh man, maybe we might see them in this season of The Walking Dead. Like, it just leaves more like, oh, it's going to happen. Whereas now I'm like, oh, yay, they've found another safe haven that's going to be safe for a little while, and just long enough to make them feel comfortable and let their guard down a bit, or you know what I mean? And then somebody will come in. But who knows? It could start out with the first episode could be that place in complete ruin.
Yeah.
It's like that only. They're just in the truck driving to Alexandria, and they're like, well, that didn't last long.
Well, we shall see.
But so yeah, as unfortunately that wraps it up for Fear the Walking Dead and the podcast that we do about it for right now. As we find if we read things or we hear of things, we will definitely podcast about it. If you find some crucial info that you think deserves a podcast, please send it to us on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And you can also email us, podcastingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll be happy to speculate on it. But at the moment, that's a wrap for season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. But we will catch you next Monday for The Walking Dead season 9 premiere. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty stoked. And I mean, we got stuff that we're going to talk about in between now and then.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing from us.
But so yeah, I hope you have a lovely Monday, or as good a Monday as one can have, and, or whatever day. And anything you want to leave them with?
Brother, I'm happy if you're happy.
I'm happy.
Somebody said something this episode that really made me chuckle, but I can't remember what.
It was probably Sarah.
Yeah, but anyway, I can't remember, so we'll
you sure?
That.
I'm willing to give you like 5 seconds to come up with this.
Oh, jeez. Nope.
Okay, well, that's a wrap. I'm Justin.
And you're Justin. I'm JP, and we're done.
We're the Podcasting Dead. We'll catch you later.